The stage is set, the sound check complete, and the crowd ready. Hip-hop artist Trip Lee is the man on the mic, and he's also known as Pastor William Lee Bearfield III.
That we can be restored to that role through the Lord Jesus, who got sent for that very reason.
His stage name and rap platform helps reach young fans with the gospel.
You've been at this rap game now how long?
About 10 years.
10 years.
About 10 years, yeah. I signed a record deal when I was in high school.
That deal was with superstar Christian rapper Lecrae's Reach Records. The two became friends after meeting backstage at a concert in Dallas, their hometown.
Now, Rise is your fifth album? What do you think is different about this than when you started with the first one?
Very different stages of life, you know what I'm saying? When I started that record when I was 17 years old in high school, my first album. And now I am 27 with 2 kids and a wife, and it's just a lot more mature.
His latest music pokes fun at those humble beginnings and that very first concert tour with Lecrae. In his words, we've gone from bootleg tours to high-quality shows.
On that tour, it was like people booked us. We showed up. We had a DJ play some music, and we rapped on it. The sound could have been terrible. The production wouldn't have been that great. We didn't think through our sets that well.
Do you think God was any less glorified in those shows versus what you're doing now?
I don't. You know, I think if we, God has called us to be faithful with what he's entrusted us with.
Thank you so much for coming to the Rise Tour tonight.
Trip Lee is also trusting his audience, sharing a painful struggle in his music. For more than 7 years, he's battled an illness that makes it hard to even get out of bed, let alone take the stage.
You suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome. What is that?
That's a good question. You know, doctors don't even understand it very well. But basically what it means for me practically in my life is I'm always tired. So I can't remember the last time I woke up feeling rested. And my body just doesn't recharge like normal bodies do. And it really has impacted my life in major ways. It has ruined lots of my plans. It's never gotten in the way of the Lord's plans, but it's ruined lots of mine.
Fatigue forced Trip to drop out of college and later walk away from a full-time job as assistant pastor.
I think I read that someone said you have the ambition of 2 men, but the energy of 1/4 of a man. True?
Whoever said that is true, is accurate, yeah. And the Lord has taught me a lot through it, man. I mean, everything I do, from an album to a book to anything, I never just kind of cruise to the finish line. I just barely get it done. I just kind of drag myself across, barely limp. And that makes it so clear to me that anytime God uses something I do, anytime there's fruit from it, that it's not because of my strength, it's because of his.
That supernatural strength has allowed this husband, father, preacher, and rapper to complete his second book. Like the album, it's also called Rise.
A 3-minute song can have significant impact in your life, but I'm thinking, how can I take people even deeper? And writing is one of the ways that I want to do that. In this particular book, I just really wanted to address the crazy idea in our culture that while we're young, we're not that, our life and decision-making isn't that important yet, or that we can't make big impact for God, or that God doesn't expect that much from us. That could not be more false.
I knew God could not have saved me for me to sit around and wait to live for him until late.
Trip uses all platforms to deliver that rise up message, and he hasn't given up on the pulpit. He's joining forces with 2 other ministers to start Cornerstone, a new church in a struggling area of Atlanta.
Is there, I guess, a pulling in you to try and choose? Do I go pastoring or do I continue rapping?
Of course. Yeah, and that's been a battle for me over the past few years. One of the battles that's been, in many ways, hindered by my health, you know. So there have been times when I've tried to make the decision, you know what, I'm gonna leave music in the past, and I'm just gonna pastor. And I have not found a way to pastor full time with my health issues, kind of flexibility that I need. I just haven't figured out a way to do it yet.
These days, he spends less time trying to make his plans work and more time following God's lead on stages he never really imagined for himself.
If I trust in that God, then I know he's with me in the midst of this suffering, and then I can be content with him in that, and I can trust his plan much more than mine. God has never said, I'm going to stamp all your plans as the best thing that ever happens. Actually, Scripture says he's going to change our plans sometimes, and that's what he's done. And I think in many ways he's increased my dependence on him.
And God is increasing the audience for Trip Lee. Ephraim Graham, CBN News, Lynchburg, Virginia.